What's up, guys? Welcome back to Get Into It with Jason Hook, with your host, Jason Hook. So GroundZero Salem just posted a video about books, and I'm going to bite his style and post my own book video. First, what we're listening to is the soundtrack to They Live. It's on Death Waltz, that label that does these really nice, they're kind of expensive soundtracks. They do kind of obscure movies sometimes not. But comes with this huge poster that I'm going to open and take up a bunch of time with. And it comes with a cool booklet too. That just talks about the soundtrack and the movie. It's cool. These things are expensive though, but they're definitely cool. It's a great movie. Like, my friends and I always make roughly 8 million references to it when we're hanging out. And I chose this because I'm actually wearing a shirt I just got. Got one that can see. So that's what you can hear in the background. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm sure all you have, or you should. It's They Live, Roddy Piper. But, so, we're going to do this a little weird here. So I actually got something in the mail today from Death Room Zine. As you can see, he told me to get into it. So I'm going to get into it and show it to you. I crossed out the addresses so you guys won't mail me shit. But this is going to be an opening of a book to start the book video that I stole from Pat. Got my stack of mailers. So this is the Morbid Tales Volume 2 book. That is, motorcycle. That's just a collection of different fiction, like horror stories that people wrote. That I know Will, who does this, who does Death Wound. It's also a zine. Again, as usual, I'll post a link. He does a zine, which is awesome, and this book just already looks awesome. I can't wait to read it. But you don't want to beware true underground fiction. And it looks like it starts with a poem. Just like to show this off here. It looks like it starts off with a poem of some sort, or story that goes into a poem. Again, I literally just opened this, as you saw. But the whole book has like this cool border around it too. So this is definitely cool. Thanks, Will. I'll post a link to the site, so if anybody else is interested in this, or the zine, can check it out. Cool random drawings and stuff. But this is cool. It's Morbid Tales, an anthology of weird fiction, Volume 2. The glare real bad from the sun. So let's get into some books. If you guys go, I'll post a link for Pat. He showed a lot of books that I have, so I'm going to show you stuff that I have that he didn't show. So definitely go watch his video if you're into read. Punks is reading. I'm trying to kill time now. I'm going to see Malleus tonight, but it's like, show starts at 10, and it's about 45 minutes away. And so I'm probably only until like 8-ish. So I got time to kill. So the first thing I wanted to show you was, this was a random book I picked up off of Amazon. And it's the most ridiculous thing ever written. It's called Skinhead Street Gangs by Lauren Christensen. This is actually a book that a police officer wrote about skinheads to give away or to sell or whatever, police training about skinheads. I got it for wicked cheap. This was clearly in a library, discarded. I bought it off Amazon. I think it was literally like $4, maybe even less than that. I think I might have paid more in shipping for it than the actual book. But if you read this, there's like crazy stuff in here, like, do not approach a gang of more than 3 skinheads because they carry weapons. One will carry the weapons, and one will be a lookout. And it's a lot of bullshit. But it's an interesting read. A lot of white power stuff in here, of course, because that's, I think, the point of it. He doesn't even really touch upon the fact that not all skinheads are white power. But again, it's written by a guy who's not part of the scene and doesn't know what he's talking about. But he just wanted to, make himself an authority on skinheads. trying to find some photos in here. There's a lot of just flyers, white power flyers, guys saluting. Some really kind of ignorant stuff. Yeah, some real ignorant stuff. Because I know white power skinheads exist, but this book paints everyone with the white power, the white power brush. See right here is a photo. Skinheads believe that the system is controlled by Jews, otherwise known as the Zionist occupational government, and then death of the system with the white power logo. I hope that's probably going to be the thumbnail. I'll have to change that. But yeah, just kind of a goofy book. Anyone who's been around skinheads or knows skinheads, like I was never a skin. I know a lot of friends who were. Read this, and it's just ridiculous. He doesn't get like anything right. The clothing he gets wrong. It's just a ridiculous thing. But it's called Skinhead Street Gangs. I'll read the back here. Welcome to the violent world of skinhead street gangs. Every major U.S. city has the skinheads, and they're to stay, according to Lauren Christensen, a nationally recognized expert on skinhead gangs and a police officer in Portland, Oregon, a city that once was dubbed the skinhead capital of the U.S. So, street gang, find it in a dumpster or cut up in for $1. I don't know. Let's skip this one for a minute. The next one is the Barred for Life book, which is a really cool. It's actually a cool photo book, and it's just people with black flag tattoos, the bars tattooed on them, and a little like bio for the person. Their favorite song, their favorite album, stories about the bars. I'm trying to find this. Actually, my buddy Ryan's in here. Lives in California now, but he's from the Merrimack Valley. MVHC. South Shore's better, but he's in here somewhere. I don't know. I don't find him quick, because I don't want to take up all your time with this. But I'll show you some photos in there. Just, find a cool one. I think there's actually some people in band, like Keith Morris. There's a picture of him in here. Does he have any tattoos or even a black flag bar tattoo? I don't even know. But it's just interviews, stories about, where they got their tattoo, why they got it, their age, where they're from. It's like a coffee table book that just to pull out and talk about the different, black, just not the bars and actual designs. Just like stuff like this. This guy's showing off their black flag tattoos, which is the most like iconic. I know a lot of people with black flag bars. I know people with black flag bars that probably don't really like black flag. But it's a cool book. Again, conversation pieces to chat about. Wish I could find you, Ryan. I should have put a thing in here. I'll tag you in when I'll post a link on Facebook. When I post this link, I'll tag you in that. You can reiterate if you liked being in the book. But I got this. This came out. Everything's messed up for me. 2013. I thought it was actually before that, but 2013. It was available everywhere. Who printed? PM Press did it. If you guys don't know, they do a lot of stuff. They do a lot of underground books, but they're not hard to find. Not hard to find at all. Interview. Giving you one more minute, and then that's going to be it for this. I'm just sorry, guys. I didn't really prepare for this. I just watched Pat's video, and I was like, that's a good idea. I'm going to bite it. So I just ran in here and just pulled a bunch of books off the shelf. You can see over my shoulder, I moved all my wrestling action figures, not dolls, figures, off the shelf so I can grab some books. I got more up there, as you can probably see. A lot of stuff Pat showed in his video. So I'm not going to double dip. I am biting his idea, so I'm not going to show the same stuff on the same day that he did. But, fuck it, I can't find it. But anyways, that's Barred for Life. It's just a whole book just about black flag tattoos. The next one I have, going back, the Skinhead, is Skinheads. What was it? A Guide to American Subculture. This is actually done by one of the guys in the band, the Templars. I don't know if you know them. And I enjoyed this book. It was cool. It's more of a, like, if they wanted to give something out, to police, I don't know why they would, because who gives a shit with people, but don't give this out to teach people about skinheads. Give this out to teach people about skinheads. It's kind of written like a college thesis. It's not necessarily a, thrown together cheap book. Goes into the bands, the different coasts. You know, the skinheads in film. They're already sharp. See, they actually mentioned sharp skinheads in here, which they don't in that one. And rash skinheads. Does it have gash? Gay hammer skins. Yeah, it goes through all the different groups that existed or still exist to this day. The different areas. It's got like the definitions: bomber vest, boot boy, what they are, what they mean. Fence walker is on here. You know, books, other bands, just information. It's about like 150 pages, but it's skinheads. See that glare. But yeah, one of the, I think Perry Hardy. Well, I don't think I know Perry Hardy's in the Templars. So it's just a really cool little book to read. It's Harley Flanagan right there. It's just a cool book to read. It is written like a college thesis, though. It's more like a professional skinhead thing instead of just like, you know, skinhead, get your hair cut type stuff. There's a skinhead girl posing with a shotgun in front of an American flag. New Orleans. Skinhead looking at a reggae record. 1985. Fringe haircut and sideburns. Typical skinhead styles. But yeah, it's just cool photo. Yeah, there is some white power stuff in here, but it doesn't really get... It isn't just about that. It's about this culture as a whole. Skinhead music, yeah, there he is right there. Yeah, they wrote the books right there. That's a photo of the Templars. So, I mean, it's a cool thing to check out. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I remember I got it as a Christmas present. My wife bought it off Amazon. It said 2012. So... I don't know if it's part of a American subculture series or something. It's written academically, though, like I said. But that's skinheads. These will be at the end. Sorry, guys. Ugh. These will be at the end. I got 4 books by the same guy. Next we have Radio Silence. In Pat's video showed this book called Suburbia Live that Anthony Parpalardo wrote, which I have right there. But this is also, Anthony Parpalardo is also involved in this project. Let's see when this came out. This was a while ago. I've had this thing for a while. But this is just a book that's got a lot of like, it's just about the visual aesthetic of punk and hardcore. 2008. It's about the visual aesthetic of punk and hardcore. It's got a lot of photos that I never saw before. But the thing that's cool in here is it's actually a collection of like people's shirts and like the materials, like, you know, original drawings for record covers. That is for the Teen Idols record. Like what, like, you know, the sketch of what they wanted it to look like. And of course, what it ended up looking like. That people just, you know, loaned them for their personal collections for this book. You know, it's a, you know, cool sort of void insert. So you can see all the tape on it from when they, it's tapes when they, you know, photocopied it, what it looked like before they photocopied it. The minor thread out of Step sweatshirt, so with the tag on it from the company. They made the sweatshirts. Glaire's probably killing this. This is a throw together video. This is cool too. All the sheep, all the different sheep. They picked one. They circled one. Where's one? All the different sheep they wanted to use for the Minor Threat record. And then it's got the, you know, if you look right here real quick, it's the back of the Minor Threat record. See how it's got their heads. Now if you turn the page here, they actually kept the photos that they cut the heads out of. So that's cool. But it's stuff like that. There's like very, very, very few actually like written words in this. It's mostly just photos. Like, you know, like it says right here, selected visual history. So there's little, like, there'll be little pieces, you know, Ian McKay, I encourage bands to do their own art or ask someone to help them make their art because I want a connection to the people making the music. You know, just like little comments like that, but then tons of photos and tons of cool stuff that people lend them from their personal collection. Here's like a Boston section, is like a straight edge shirt. But I think there's also another kid from mine. My wife likes to buy me books, and I don't mind because I read a lot. Because, you know, punks is read. The punks are fucking reading. Trying to find other stuff in here. Oh, here we go. If you guys know my love affair of the Gorilla Biscuits, the layout of what the record was going to look like, with the color choices for the printer or the designer. So that's awesome. See if there's anything cool written here. Yeah, just what type they wanted, the colors, any questions on separate instructions, call. Bet. Make embossing film for cover, please call when cover proofs are ready. It's just cool. Like, you know, this is some nerd shit, guys. Like, so, and those who know me know that I'm a nerd, and I get into this kind of weird shit. You know, I just want to see the drawings, like, you know, the sketches of what they wanted some of the covers to look like. A lot of old photos of old shirts in here too. But, you know, instead of just, you know, everyone's seen, there's tons and tons of photos that everyone has seen. You know, by now, 2017, everyone's seen the photos, so it's just cool to see, like, the choices. Like, here's, like, the reels from the cover and the one circle that they wanted for the minor threat guys. You know, but then, you know, they mark the ones that they liked. And then in the end here, I'll show it real quick. It's just all record covers. There's no dates of years on here, so it's just all kind of just collection of record covers, the year they came out and what label put them out. So, try and kill that glare. The year they came out, there's a Leeway record that was in my last video, all the way on the end there. The Infest record, which I've shown. And then after that, it's, like I said, it's all shirts. There's photos of the shirts. So that's Radio Silence, a selected visual history of American hardcore music by Nathan. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your name, bro. I don't even know if you'll see this, but Nedorostek and Anthony Papalardo. Back here. It's a cool book. I haven't really seen that thing around. I mean, I don't know if it's probably not out of print. It doesn't seem to pop up. I'm almost 10 years old now. Next we have the classic. I mean, all you guys know what this is and you should all own it. The Henry Rollins Get in the Van. Just his whole... This thing's been printed a million times. I think the original prints had hardcovers on them. I bought this at a Booksmith in the Hanover Mall that no longer exists. The bookmark's actually stuck in here. Booksmith. This thing's been gone for over 10 years. Sometimes it'll say, yeah, this is from 2004. The original came out in 1994, and I think there's been in presses after that and in between there. But this is just his history. You might have heard he has a CD out or a tape or a stream where he's like reading the book. I heard that before I heard this. But this is just his history of touring with Black Flag, how he joined the band. This thing is packed with photos, and then random things like, you know, tour passes. Random drawings probably from his notebooks. You know, random drawings from his notebooks. This thing, and I don't think this is hard to find either, but this is like a must-have for any punk or hardcore kid, even if you don't like reading, which you should. Because the fucking punks are fucking reading. You know, here he is when he got the sun tattooed on his back of it being drawn on. You know, it goes through the years here. You can see him start off as like a shaved head, hardcore kid from DC, and ended as a long-haired, wild, crazy dude. You know, I'll go to the beginning here. You know, here it is right here. Rollins at the beginning of Black Flag. And I'm trying to find one. Here you go. Rollins at the end of Black Flag. You know, and then the stories that, you know, you guys know, Black Flag's not really a unknown band. It says second edition. They toured like crazy. They lived on the road, ate out of dumpsters. slept on floors, or basically squatting, homeless, just poured everything into Black Flag. And then, Damage came out, My War, and the later records I'm not necessarily into, and they just freaking toured until they freaking imploded. I'm trying not to swear. Until they imploded, but it's cool. It's set up like a diary, July. It says like what the show, little blurb about what happened at that show. This is taken directly from his tour diaries. But that's Get in the Van. You guys already should know this. Maybe I'll make this a thumb. Let me just stare at the camera. But that's Harry Rollins, Get in the Van. Alright, record's over. We're going to do like we usually do. I think I got a couple more to show, so no music. You can hear the cars driving by. Next, I have the Town of Hardcore zine, which was out of Canada. This is the collection of every issue. I actually have every issue in paper that I bought because the guy came to Boston all the time to the Elks Lodge at Hardcore Stadium. This thing is pretty awesome. This cat, see it right there, Town of Hardcore 02 to 05. This captures every awesome band that was around in that era. And, right here, you open it right up. Massachusetts own, one of the first things in a R&R for the demo. It has reviews in here, photos. A ton of these photos are from Boston. Like I said, the guy came down all the time. I want to say he was out of Toronto or the Toronto area. Look at this one. Here you go. This Damien from Fucked Up, super young with hair. One of the issues there. But this is every single issue they ever did. And the thing about this was these guys would write some reviews, and they were mean. If they didn't like your band, they didn't like your band, and they hosed you pretty hard. And I know there were some people who were upset about it, but, whatever. The guy was on it. I mean, if he didn't like you, he didn't like you. There's a little thing, like hip-hop review. Let's see, reviews. Let's see if I can find a bad one. Well, he gives Dag Nasty a good review. Yeah, review some zines in here. Tons of photos of this guy must have gone to every show. There's 9 Shocks in the top there. I have that Caustic Christ shirt. Probably doesn't fit anymore. Champion, Think I Care, Total Fury, Punch in the Face. There's ads in here. I'm trying to find something he doesn't like. Here you go. If you guys remember Sworn In, which is the band on Bridge 9. Like everyone says, it sounds a ton like American Nightmare, but I think this dude has a deeper voice. That said, I'm not into this whole theme of this record with the faux dead girl layout and the ultra-depressed lyrics. It will be a cold day in hell before you catch me chanting, I pulled every star down from the sky to make night. I don't know what he is talking about at the best of times. Better than Ammunition, void of identity. If he didn't like it, he didn't like it. But I think there's 10 issues. Mental, here he is right here. Totally making fun of Count Me Out. Fucking hair metal band photo with Count Me Out written under it. They talk some shit. But, whatever. The guy was sang in a band too. I forget the name. Here's a cover right here of number 4. The best Punch in the Face on the cover. And every issue had a thing on the back. Do you know hardcore? And it would be like a random 7 seconds written on a stool somewhere. Or it's like a Warzone photo or just a random photo. I don't know if you guys can really get this anymore. This probably is from 06. I don't even think there's a date in here. Oh, there is. 2007 on Eating Rats Records. And this came with a 7-inch too, which I have somewhere. I don't know where the hell I put it. There's 11 issues and then one sheet issue. And like I said, everything's in here. They covered up the address. Hatebreed, the Rise of Brutality tour. And there's a photo of everyone. Here's R&R and Say Goodbye on tour at Disney World. Made the cover of one of the issues. It's like R&R and Say Goodbye. Is Think I Care in there too? But yeah, so R&R, Say Goodbye at Disney World. These guys were just around when all this shit blew up, so they caught it all as it happened, and wrote about it extensively in the zine. And they were a couple bucks each. I remember, they'd post on a message board coming soon, and I would be like, oh well, there's a big show at the hardcore stadium. So I'm sure, they're going to have issues. And I'd find the guy out, or the guy, we get to know each other a little bit. Not friends, but we would just, recognize each other because we see each other at shows all the time. So he'd see me coming and he'd just pull an issue, sell him out of the trunk of his car in the parking lot. But it was awesome. Like this drawing. It's an awesome thing. Got this Town of Hardcore stamp right here that used to be on the back of every issue. This is a special one because I pre-ordered it. I got a little just Eating Rats Records stamp. Number 68 of 200, so there's only 200 of these. I didn't even know that. I don't know if 200, definitely not 200 total, probably maybe 200 with the cover, maybe 200 total. With the cover right there, it's just kind of Town of Hardcore xenography. And like it was out of Canada. Something, I don't know if it was a strictly East Coast thing, because like I've said about 5 times, these guys were always in Boston. So I know these were everywhere around here. The book, I think the Eating Rats is out of Western Mass. I'm pretty sure way Western Mass. There's no address or anything. But they were always around here. And a lot of the stuff in here is Boston because it's easy. A lot of the photos in here are from the Hardcore Stadium. But that's the Town of Hardcore xenography. And there's another, speaking of xenographies, there's a Schism one. Bridge 9 put this out. Again, I don't even know what year. Sorry about the burp, guys. That was cruel. Man, these book videos are long, man. 2005. This is a first edition, first printing. Woo! So this is just I believe this had what came with the Project X repress that they did, or you can get the repress, or you can get this in the repress. But it's every issue of the Schism scene, which came out of New York. Here you go, the Youth Defense League interview. Which the Schism zine was a pretty big youth crew hardcore zine out of the late '80s, done by Porcel from Youth of Today and Alex Brown. It's short, just black and white print, just reprinted. Record stores, photos of record stores, just shots from the zine. Basically, youth crew hardcore. There's Vinny Stigma, AF all over here. Gnostic Front. This is Sick of It All on the bottom. Sick of It All on the bottom. Actually, all Sick of It All. My wife told me my voice gets raspy when I talk too much. So, is that Dag Nasty's Brian Baker with crazy long hair wearing an SSD shirt? So, but yeah, this is cool. This is on Bridge 9. I don't know if they still have these. I should have looked on the bands on the back. I think there was only a handful of issues, so it's not like a thick thing at all. But Agnostic Front, Bold, Dag Nasty, Gorilla Biscuits, Crackdown, No for an Answer, Project X, Side by Side, Slapshot, SSD, Super Touch, Wide Awake, Warzone, and YDL. Oh, there's an alphabetical order too. But that's the Schism. If Bridge 9 doesn't have these anymore, you might be able to find it somewhere. So to close this out, I have 4 books by the same guy, and his name's Ian Glasper. And these are first one I'll show you will be Burning Britain, the history of UK punk 80 to 84. This is the penultimate UK 82. If you want to get into UK 82, you want to collect UK 82. I bought it used, so it's got the dude must have smoked 1,000 packs of cigarettes a day. I got about 5 minutes left before they're gonna kill me, cut me off. So, but yeah, Burning Britain. It's just got bands. They're in alphabetical order. Or no, they're not in alphabetical order because Mayhem's in the front. But it's got bands. The binder's broken on this. These are all available on I got these off Amazon. Like the Septic Psychos. I've never heard of them, but it's got like a little history. It'll have a little history of the band, a photo, and then if you turn the page, at a glance, which is just neither the Septic Psychos or No Dead Meat have yet been immortalized on any official CD release. If you ask Mick Nicely to cover his costs, he might be persuaded to copy you all of their recorded output. And then it's got an email address. But it's got discographies. Like, here's one right here. What band's this? The English Dogs. Like a simple one. It's got a discography there. It's got some photos. Some bands get longer sections. Some bands get shorter ones. But this is like a UK 82 handbook if you guys want to start getting into UK 82. And then also by Ian Glasper's Trapped in a Scene, UK Hardcore, 85 to 89. The photo on the back. And this is written exactly like the last one. Exactly like it. It's just got... I'm trying to think what I got here. I'm trying to find a band. A band people would know. you know, it's just got flyers in it. You turn it over here. What band is this? Bad Beach. So it's Bad Beach. It's got a little history of Bad Beach. Another, you know, another picture of a flyer. You know, this is a pretty long one. And then, you know, discography, at a glance, calling all labels. Yes, please, we want a Bad Beach retrospective as soon as humanly possible. And then photos of the band. And that's like just basically UK hardcore, 85 to 89. There's on the cover here. So, you know, here's Heresy right there. So you guys, but Ian Glasper did that one. And then there's another Ian Glasper book, The Day the Country Died. This is the history of anarcho-punk 80 to 84. And just like the ones I showed you before, same exact way. Same exact, everyone's written the same exact way. Every band gets, some bands get longer, some bands get shorter ones. I'm trying to find a long one. Maybe I'll find Crass. I know Crass. Actually, this one's broken down into Northwest England, Scotland, South and Southwest London. But it's just, you know, same thing. The bands, some bands get really long write-ups in this one. Here you go. Here's Dirt. So the band Dirt. Got a photo. Got a little history of the band. You know, another, you know, more history of the band. Dirt has like 10 pages in here. I don't think I could. I don't think I think about Dirt for 10 pages. But then, you know, little 7 inches. And then at the glances, it says that there's a comp out. Released some stuff they did on 2 discs, complete with tasteful digipack and exhaustive booklet of all the lyrics, plus original artwork and entertaining liner notes. So, you know, just if you guys, these things are just complete. Like they give you tons of history. So that's The Day the Country Died, anarcho-punk 80 to 84, and then this last one. This one came out more recently. This is Armed with Anger: How UK Punk Survived the 90s. Again, beating a dead horse. It's written just like all the other ones. Brain Dance. Got a little written thing about them. Turn the page. You know, live. We got a photo. And then, you ready? You guys ready? You ready for the shocker? The discography and at a glance. Right there. I don't know if it's going to show up. At a glance. The Delusions of Grandeur CD also contains the Gentle Spirit 7 inches bonus tracks and comes highly recommended. So that's all I got for books. I'm about to get cut off. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry I stole your idea, Pat. It was cool. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.